Okay, hi there guys. Welcome to our third video regarding the development of point of sale system. Um, Today's tutorial is a little bit, I guess it will be a little bit longer than the others, and it will be a little bit more difficult because we'll be trying to work with master details and do a number of tricks like search and stuff like that, and we'll see why we need to do this. Okay, so here we go. So continuing from previous tutorial, we finished about almost half the system, so about 41% of that. Okay, and what we need to work with now is adding items to receipt and removing items from the receipt and finding totals. So before we do that, what this means that we need to have some structure in the database or a set of tables that will describe a receipt. Okay, now before I continue, let me explain this. How do you design a receipt? Now basically, if you see a receipt, usually you will have, for example, here this is the receipt number, okay, and you might find a date as well, and then you will have some kind of table. So there is the item, there is the count, and there is unit price, okay, and there is total price, okay, and okay, and at the end you'll find the total, for example. Now if you look here, let me say this is item X, this is item Y, this is item Z. Okay, let me give random values here. So this will equal 3, this will equal 5, oh sorry, let me make this 10, 21, this makes this 3, this 2. Okay, so here this is the receipt number, and here I will have the date 2011-12-12, for example. So yeah, and the total will be something like 31, 34. Okay, now 34. So you might be asking, why did I show you this? This is the thing. If you look at the receipt, what do you find? You'll find this information is being mentioned once per receipt, okay, and you can identify a receipt by its number, right? You cannot use the date for that, okay. And what do you find as well? You will find the items, right? Now the number of items is changing. There could be 1 item, 2 items, 500 items. You never know the number of items. In such cases, these values will not be stored in the same table as receipts. So these will be actually the details of the receipt. Okay. In other words, what I'm trying to say here, if there are there is a set of values that could have if the values could change in number, increasing or decreasing, then probably these values represent a details table. Okay, so in our case, the items, because you could have 1 item, you can't have 500 items, right? That belongs into to a single receipt. So now let's go and work on the database and see how are we going to do that. It's gonna be straightforward, I guess. Okay, so right click here and let me select open with. Okay, and where's Microsoft Access? Microsoft Access, and here we are. There we go. And we have only 2 tables, the items, as you can see here, and the values. Now we're going to add a third one. Now this one is going to be the receipts. So here this is going to be receipt ID, okay, and this is going to be a number, okay, and we are gonna generate this dynamically. And here, yeah, sorry, long integer. Okay, actually I should select auto number. Yeah, there we go. This is the receipt ID, receipt date. Okay, this one we could use, let's say date time. Okay, no problem. Okay, and we might want to save this, for example, receipt total. Okay, and this is gonna be decimal. Alright, I think there is, see, currency, it's gonna be currency. Okay, we have these values that represent the basic information of a receipt, right? You can add more details if you'd like to, but for in our case we want things to be a little bit simple, and later on I'm going to make it a little bit more complex, and I'm going to show you why. Because we want to find a number of totals. I could add values here, but I won't for the moment. I will do that later. Okay, so we have this one. I'm gonna say save here, receipt. Okay, receipts with S. Okay, let me improve my English here. So this is the receipts table, and now we need the details table. Sorry. So now, what am I gonna do is create another table in design view. Now, this one's a little bit tricky. You could create a key that has the receipt ID and the item ID. Okay. This could be one way to do it, or you could create the receipt's own ID. But for a change, I'm gonna make the key 2 columns. Okay. In this case, this is gonna be what? Receipt ID. This is gonna be number, and let me check this. What's that? It is barcode, right? The barcode is the key here. So this is gonna be barcode, and the barcode is gonna describe the item itself. Okay, and this is gonna be what? This is gonna be text. Let me go back here, check the data types. It's text, exactly. Okay, this is what I wanted to know. Now we have these 2 items as details for the receipt. These 2 items will recognize, will help me recognize the things that I'm buying. Okay, so what do we have as well? We have the number of items I bought in a single receipt. Okay, the number of item types I bought. Okay, so here, for example, let me say item count. This is gonna be number, and yeah, now I'm gonna add or save some extra information, and I'm gonna tell you later. So item buy price, this is gonna be what? This won't appear to the end user, or program's gonna save that. This is gonna be currency. Item sell price. Okay, and this is gonna be currency. Now you might be asking why I am including these information here, and I am not using or use my code to get the values from here. Well, I can, but let's say in the future the shopkeeper bought another set of items with the same barcode, but now the price changes or the selling price increase. This will change all the calculations, even for the receipts that are being sold, and this will make problems with your code. So if we do it this way, we're gonna make some information redundant, but these information will be used at the time that represent the values at the time the item was sold. Okay, this is very important. So this is the reasoning behind it. Okay, so after getting that out of the way, let's save this, and here we're gonna say what? This is gonna be receipt details. Okay, hit OK here, and yeah. So we got our tables. Now we need to create relationships, okay, to make sure that everything is connected the way it's supposed to be. So this is the items, details, receipts, values, and close. So let's have a look here. So now this table, okay, the receipt ID here, receipt ID for operational integrity, and create. There we go. Okay, so what this means that a single receipt could have many details, in other words, many items, right? This is what it means. Now for this one, this is very similar. You drag and drop the barcode, put this one here, create. And what this line means, it means a single item recognized by its barcode could appear in many receipts. This is what it means. Okay, so now after we got this, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close it from here. Let's go to our friend over here. There we go. Let's go tables, and let's go to our data set. There we go. So we have these two tables. Let me add these other two. So this is the first one, and this is the second one. And now you can see that the wizard detected these relationships and created these for you. Make sure that you create the relationships. If you don't, the wizard will not detect these. Okay. Now let me save this, stop the recording software, and start it again. Okay, so continuing on our video. Now we finished this part. Now let's get to the second part of this, which is designing the interface. Now we have this issue. We can enter the receipt in a window that pops up, okay, but this will make things a little bit slow for the shopkeeper. Why? Because he must click a button, a window appears, you must fill that, press enter, a window disappears, and stuff like that. So this will be annoying to the shopkeeper. Now what are we gonna do? We're gonna create a tab just for selling, okay, or for entering receipts. So I'm gonna click here and select add tab. I'm gonna click now inside to select the tab page and double click here. Full receipts. Okay, so what do we have in such case? What do we need to fill? Okay, so I'm gonna do this here. Let me see. So this is a data grid view. I'm gonna use that. Copy here. Okay, now the data grid view, I'm gonna use it for what? I'm gonna use the data grid view for the details, right? So I'm gonna paste it here. Okay. Yeah. And now let me change this one's name DGB2. Okay, and I will undock it. Undock, there we go. Now we're gonna need a few things here. Okay, so the buy price and sell price, we don't need to show the buy price for the end user. So here I'm gonna say edit I will say edit columns. I'm gonna remove the buy price here. Okay, I guess the barcode is not needed as well. Right, well actually, wait a minute, cancel, we need that. Edit columns, so this one is not needed, but this one I won't delete it, but I'll make it invisible. So what this means, I will be able to use it. Where's visible property? This is gonna be false. There we go. I'm gonna hit OK here. I guess we could use we will need the item price, right? So this is gonna be the item price. I'm gonna add the total. So add another column, and the header text is gonna be what? This is gonna be item total. There we go. Select add and close here. Where's item total? Should be at the end here, and this is gonna be, where is it? What? This is gonna be, okay, I've just remembered something. Wait a minute, cancel. I did something wrong here. I copied this data grid view. I'm sorry about that. I copied this data grid view, which is already bound to a data source. I don't want to bind this data grid view to any data source. Okay, so first I will have to go here and say none. Okay, I should have paid attention to that. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna make this one a little bit wait a minute before doing that. Let me add the columns quickly. Sorry about this. Edit columns, add. So first one is gonna be barcode, and this will be invisible. Add. The second one is gonna be item. I don't need to say name because it's gonna be okay, and the next one is gonna be price. Okay, and this is gonna be total price, or let me say count. Total price, and close it. And yeah, I guess this is all we need. Okay, so we'll have the item, it's the price, the number of items here, and the total price. Okay, and we need to do something here. Basically, the end user might want to resize this one to make it bigger, smaller, and also you'll have a number of controls over here. So we will need a split container. Where is that? PQRST split container. There we go. Let me see, does it dock? Yeah, it can dock in the parent container. So let me put this one inside, make it a little bit small, put it here. Now this one is going to be docked into this one, and I click on the middle, and this one will be docked in this one. Okay, there we go. So now this one could change its size, no problem. And next we need to put some information here. So I'm gonna need a label. There we go. So this is gonna be a label. This will represent the barcode, and we will need a text box. Where's that? No, PQRST. Where's that? PQRST. There we go. Okay, so yep, there we go. I think I'm making these a little bit small. It's okay, I guess. Okay, so this is the barcode. Okay, you will enter the barcode, and what you need to see after entering the barcode is the item name. Yeah. Also, you need to, well, yeah. Let me see, the barcode, the item name, the item price, and yeah, I guess that will do. So let me, these two guys will be read only. Where's that? This is read only here, and this one will be okay to edit. Now this one, text, this is gonna be barcode. There we go. And this is gonna be item. Enter. Oops, ITM. And this is gonna be what? This is gonna be price. Okay. So now let me check the docking for these guys. So the docking, sorry, the anchor. I'm sorry, not the docking, but the anchor. And yeah, the anchor for the others is like that. Okay. The reason I'm doing this, because later on, if you change the size, you can see, right? Sorry, if you didn't see that, you can see they adjust themselves correctly, no problem with that. Okay, yeah. And what do we need also is we need to display the total price for the receipt. I'm gonna put this one here. This is gonna be total price. What is it? Total price. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we have these guys, okay, and they seem okay. Okay, maybe we need a separator. Yeah, for that I'm gonna use this label, and this label will consist of, oh, no need, I'm sorry, no need, I'm so sorry about that. I guess this will do. Okay, the total price will display the total price for that receipt, as simple as that. Okay, and we will need a number of buttons, like let's see, this is gonna be what? Okay, this is gonna be add item. This is gonna be one for add item. We're gonna need one. Let me make these a little bit big. This is my problem. I'm not good with design anyway. So this will be for remove. And we will need one for what? The last one will be used to save receipt, or let's call it just save. Okay, or make it big. Save receipt. Okay, sorry for being lazy a little bit. Let me not be lazy. I hate laziness. I hate myself. Okay, and now if I don't become lazy, I will like myself again. Okay, so we have these add, remove, and save receipt. Yeah, as simple as that. These are simple buttons. Yeah, it doesn't look nice. It looks really ugly. Yeah, I guess it looks ugly. Really ugly. Okay, so this is what am I gonna do. There we go. Now, these two guys, there we go, and I guess this would look better. Now, okay. Now let's have a look. Okay, we just worked with the interface. We didn't do any coding or anything. Just run that, and there we go. I think it was 1, 2, 3. Enter. Okay, so we have the test item by price at price 1. Okay, and okay. So far it looks acceptable, I guess. Acceptable. Okay, now we will need a number of things. Let's start coding. So if we enter a barcode here or a number here, the item information, if it exists, should appear here. Now when you enter the value, you might, for example, enter one number of a time. Yeah, so how do you detect entering a value? Well, usually the barcode will enter the value and add enter at the end of that. We could detect that, or we could use the text change event to do this. So I'm gonna double click here. Okay, and when the text changes, I am gonna first clear the user interface. Now, this one is used to detect the barcode item when the text change, and display its information. Okay, so this one is not really hard. A more efficient way is to search the values in memory. Usually these values are small, and display the value, but I'm gonna access the database each time I enter a single letter. So this is not an efficient way, but you know, just so that you guys get the idea. So here, in order to access the database, we need to search by the barcode number. So let's go to the data set, okay, and let's have a look. Full by barcode, or get data by barcode. The get data by barcode is the one we are looking for here, so we are gonna use it. Okay, let's go back here. So step 1, try. Okay, step 01, read get create the table adapter. Okay, dimension TA as new POS dataset adapters dot items table adapter. Okay, dimension TB for table as or equals right away. This would equals TA dot get data by barcode, and the barcode will be in text box 1.text. Okay, so as soon as I write a character, I'm gonna get the item based on that character and place it as a table in TV. Now step 2, check if no item is found. Okay, so here if tb.rows.count equals 0, this means there's no items is found. Then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna say text box 2.text equals nothing. So let me show you here. What I mean by this is that this item will be empty and this one will be empty. Okay, so text box 2.text equal nothing, text box 3.text equals nothing. Sorry about that. Now this clears it, and then we exit the subroutine. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Well, I need to do a little bit more work, because the add item button should not be clickable. So it is called button 1. I'm going to change its state. So button 1 dot enabled equal false. Okay. Now step 3. Display the information in the text boxes. Okay. So basically, what am I going to do here is button 1 dot enabled equals true. This is the first thing, and then text box 2 dot wait a minute. Where is that? Dot text equal. This is gonna be tb dot rows of 0 dot wait a minute. Dot what? I think it doesn't recognize. Yeah, what's the name of the column? I'm forgetting the stuff. So there's the item name. It's 01. It's column number 1. Usually you should use the item name. Or, well, let me not be lazy here and yeah, dimension R as POS dot wait a minute, this is POS data set dot PO wait a minute, POS wait, this is gonna be what? Items row. Okay, so you can see that what this means is that I am declaring R as an items row, and this will allow me to access its data. Okay, so I created this extra step, okay, just to make things easier for me. Rows of 0. Okay, and now if I use R, dot. I can get the barcode if I would like to, or I could do what? I could let me see. I could gosh, what's the word? I could get the item name. There we go. Okay, and text box 3 dot text equal r dot item. Okay, this is gonna be sell price. Okay, and there are some other information that I will need later. I don't want to lose this information, so I'm gonna save it. And the place I'm gonna save this information, or the place I'm gonna save this R, is actually in the property tag. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna say button1 dot tag, okay, equals R. Okay, so I am putting the information in button 1. This is what it means. Okay, and that's it. And in case anything happens, any kind of error, so display error message. So MSU box error, line and px dot message. Okay, and critical or okay only. There we go. And error. There we go. I guess I don't need this part. I just need the Okay, so it's very simple if you think about it. We enter a number, and a search is the database is being searched based on that value, and based on if we we didn't get any result, to clear everything, otherwise full information. Okay, and remember that for later use. Okay, so let's try and see if this works. Let's run this. Bum bum, 1 2 3, and enter. There we go. So we have test. The barcode is 1. Obviously I will hit 0 here, it's disabled, but if I hit 1, you can see the values appear, right? There is one thing here is that let me add another item. Items, add item barcode 2. Obviously there is no item with a single digit barcode, but anyway, pen, right? I think we already have pen. Okay, this one's test. 3 and 77. Okay, that's an expensive one. So we're gonna say 1. We're gonna say 2. Yeah. So this one's now is applicable. Yeah. So let me save this one. Okay, and stop the video and run it again. Okay, so now we continue. Okay, so we have an issue here is that when I display things, this button is enabled. It shouldn't be enabled by default. So let me click it here. Where is the enabled property? Where is that? This one is disabled now. Okay, no problem. Now, now what happens when you click the add button? What happens is very simple. If the item is not already there in this list, it will be added. Okay. Otherwise, it won't. Okay. So let me check this. Make sure. Okay. So we have the barcode, the item, the price, count, and total price. Well, I'm gonna do another things here. I have the price, which represent what? Which represent the selling the price. I'm gonna add another column. This is going to be what? This is going to be invisible column, and here this is going to be what? Buy price. Okay, because I will need that. I need all the information in advance. Okay, so we have these. Yes. Okay, and now I'm gonna hit OK. Okay, so no visible change here. So when they add a button, this will be used to add an item to the data grid view, or let me say to the receipt details. There we go. So now this was pretty much as follows. So first thing, get the details of the item. Now if you remember, the details of the item is stored in the tag property, and to do that we could use something like this. Now this is r var equals button1 dot tag. There we go. So we got the details. Okay, next search for the barcode in the data grid view. Okay, so dimension I as integer. So for I equals 0 to dgb2 dot rows dot count minus 1. The first column contains the barcode number. So if r dot barcode equals dgb2 dot rows of I dot cells of 0 dot value. Okay, so what am I doing here? Let me explain this. I'm accessing the data grid view, I'm accessing the row ith row, I'm accessing the cell number 0 which contains the barcode, and I'm accessing the value because there are many other properties I can access. Anyway, so if I found the item, so item found, let me make things a little bit easier to mention. Item location as integer equals -1. So here I'm gonna say item location equals what? Equals I, and I'm gonna say exit 4. Okay, so it's gonna be as simple as that. Okay, if I find the item. Now if I don't find, if item is not found, then exit the sorry, okay, and exit 4. If item is not found, add it. So if item location, if item location equals -1, then dgb2 dot rows dot add. Now what am I gonna add? I'm gonna say r dot barcode, and next I'm gonna say r dot item name, r dot buy price, and r dot sell price. What do we have also? We have the count. In this case I'm gonna use, say, 0 and the total 0, and the reason for that, well, actually I could do this a little bit differently. So I'm gonna say the count is 1, and here r dot seller price. There we go. Now what happens if the item is already there? Else, well, this is gonna be dimension item count as long, and this is gonna be what? This is gonna be dgb2 dot rows of item location dot what? Dot cells of, let me see. So I will go back here to see where the cell is. Is it columns? So this is 0 1 2, this is 0 1 2 3 4. It's the fourth one, number 4. 4 dot value. Okay, and then item count plus equal 1. So this means item count equals item count plus 1, and then dimension new, new price as decimal, and this is going to be what? R dot seller price multiplied by item count. Okay, now I will update the information. So I will update the display. gb2 dot rows of item log or item location cells of 4 equals item count, and now update the price. Ouch. Dot value. I forget this. dgb2 dot rows of item location dot cells of 5 dot value equals what? New price. It's as simple as that. So if item is not found, add it. If item is already there, increase its count. There we go. And update the price, of course. Okay, so after we do that, what should happen? Well, the content of the text box should be cleared. So all we have to do is clear text box 1. So here, next, clear text box 1 and set focus to it. So what's gonna happen is text box 1 dot text equals nothing, text box 1 dot focus. There we go. As simple as that. Okay, now I'm gonna save this. Now I'm gonna run the code. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so items, I'm gonna say add item here. This is gonna be 2 pen 2 sell to price 3 items, add item 3 paper 2 22 2 3 add. Okay, for receipt, so I'm gonna say 0 doesn't work, 1. Okay, and now I hit add 2. There we go. Now 1 again, check out the totals. Okay, yeah, so now I'm gonna say 2. You can see now the total is being updated. Okay, yeah, I did something wrong, I'm sure, because let me see, what did I use here? Wait, let me go back to the program. So the price is 3, but what I did, I'm using a different price. I'm using the buy price to be get displayed here. So I need to fix this, right? Yeah. So we have what? Let me try this out. Click here. Edit column. So we have the price. Yeah, I reversed the order, that's it, sorry about that. Okay, so now it should work correctly. Okay, 1 2 3 enter, there we go. Items at item 2 pen 3 5 items at item 3 paper 8 9 add. So let's go back here, sorry, 3 add, this is the paper, 3 again add. You can see now this one's getting updated. 2 add, 2 add, 2 add. Okay, now the problem with this is that I'm still let me say I still have to click the mouse. So the barcode, the employee on the barcode doesn't want to go and click the add button. What we could do is solve this problem. This one solved by the barcode itself, because it adds enter to the end. What all we need to do is process that enter key and translate it to a click on this button. So this is what are we gonna do. We are gonna double click this one and go to I think there's a key press event. Okay, so the key press event will detect when a key is being pressed. Okay, checks if the return key is pressed. Okay, so here we have this argument that's called E. Okay, so now I'm gonna try check that. If E dot keychar equals VB new line, I guess, then yeah, I can't remember which one, but I'm not sure about this, but I will put a breakpoint here. So if this one is pressed, what happens is that this method should get executed. So all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call it. So I will call this one here. right? And I'll press nothing here, nothing. Okay, I won't send these parameters, and I don't use them in my method, so no harm is done there. Okay, so let me try this now. I need to do some checks as well. So 1, 2, 3. This is not a perfect code, so I'm gonna enter here. I'm gonna try to enter. Okay, this is 1. Yeah. Okay. Oops. 1. Entered the wrong one, and now I'm gonna hit enter. So what's the key char? Does it equal the same? Okay. Instead of that, I think CHR10. I hope this is the one. Come on, CHR13. Okay, it's CHR13. This is a problem. Okay, there is another thing I need to add here, is that I need to check that there are values or there are valid values in the in the text box. So I'm gonna add this: if button1 dot enabled, then. So we already established that button 1 will not be enabled unless there's a valid barcode in there. Okay, so this means it will not get clicked unless unless there is a valid barcode. Okay. Yeah, so let's try this out and see how it goes. Let me run this, and 1, 2, 3, enter. There we go. For a receipt, I'm gonna wait a minute. I'm gonna put what was it? It was 1. Enter. So you can see here I am. Okay. So I'm gonna run now notepad. There we go. 1, enter. So Control C. Now I'm gonna use Control V. Oops. Oh, it doesn't work. Come on. Anyway, but you get the idea. You can see now it's working perfectly fine, right? Yeah. So you can see the total here, no problem. This is one thing. The other things that we need to display the total price in this next text box. Obviously, you need to update the total whenever the values here change. Okay, and basically the total is the summation of all the columns in here. Okay, so we're gonna do this here. It's very straightforward. Okay, compute. Oops. Compute the total for what? For the receipt. Okay. So what are we gonna do is dimension sum as decimal equals 0, and for I equals 0 to dgb2.rows.count minus 1 sum plus equals dgb2.rows of I dot cells of 5 dot value. Why? Because the last column contains the value, and we are accessing that last column here for the row. Okay, and finally we will display the value. So but this next here, text box 4 dot text, this would be text box 4 dot text equals what? Sum. There we go. And I'm gonna click here. 1, 2, 3, enter. Let me items add item. I'm gonna say what? 2, 10, 4, 5, add. This is gonna be 2, enter. So you can see the total here. Another 2, enter. You can see the total. Now 1. So now it works Okay, so wait, you can see that this one doesn't work here, so there's no problem. Now it works. Okay, so now we finished displaying totals and stuff like that. Let's work on removing items from the receipt. Okay, so here it's very straightforward. Okay, yeah. So for this one, remove item from the receipt. Okay, so here what are we gonna do? We're gonna say db2 dot selected rows dot count equals 0, then exit sub. There we go. And then db2 dot rows dot remove db2 dot selected rows of 0. There we go. It's as simple as that. Now let me run this code again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, enter. I'm gonna say 1, enter, and now since this one's selected, remove and scan. There we go. Simple as that. Okay, last thing we have saving the receipt. Okay, saving the receipt is yeah this one requires a little bit of work, so yeah, let's work on that. It's not that difficult actually. So let's go here. Before I start, we have a number of records. If we want to insert these values or the details, it means we have multiple inserts. The problem is that the database will save the value after each insert. When usually what you want to do, before I say that, what happens if there is a problem during the insertion? For example, if we inserted half the values, if you are running a transaction, at any point, if there's an error, everything will be rolled back and the database will be unaffected. But if you're committing after each insert, there will be a problem. So what we need to do is tell our program that we are running this code as a single unit or a single transaction. So this is how we do it. Okay, usually I use a transaction and command. I don't use the wizard. I'm kinda using the wizard and the data set. Anyway, so save the receipt. Okay, so yeah, so first step, we need to insert the receipt information, and yeah, we need to create a new receipt object, and then we will need to use that in order to insert the details. So first create, wait a minute, let's say here, first start a transaction. Okay, let me see if there is system yeah, okay. So if I remember correctly, you should go to wait a minute, before I do that, let me just stop recording and start it again. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so now let's start working with this one, how to save the receipt. So let's start with a try. Wait a minute. So first thing, we need to create the transaction object. So create the transaction object. This one's going to be a little bit difficult. It won't be that easy. So dimension trans, let's say my transaction as this is going to be what? This is going to be olay db what transaction. Okay, this is going to be equal to nothing. Now let's try, we will use the try part. So first thing we need, we need to create connection. Yeah, so dimension my connection as oladb connection, and yeah, so equals new oladb connection. Okay, right. Oops, oladb connection, not transaction. Okay, so now I need to get the connection string. The connection string should be what? My dot settings dot what? db connection string. Okay, so here I got the connection string. Okay, so I opened the connection, and now from the connection I'm gonna say what? I'm gonna say my connection dot begin transaction. Okay, create the transaction object. There we go. I'll put these guys here. Okay, so create the connection and transaction objects. Okay, oops, another mistake. My transaction. Sorry about that. Okay, I need this one to be outside because I want to roll back the transaction later on. If I put it inside, it will be local to the try part, and I won't be able to roll it back anyway. So yeah, yeah. So here we created a transaction. So step. So here we're gonna say insert the new receipt. Okay, so in order to insert values we need to create a command. So here dimension cmd1, I'm gonna number these as a new oladb command. Okay, and here dimension SQL as string. Okay, so in order for me to know what are the columns and make everything correct, let me see. So we have these receipt ID, receipt date, receipt total. So this is going to be like this. Insert into what? Receipts, receipt date and receipt total. Okay, these two values. And now check this out. I will not make a string concatenation. I will do it this way. It's gonna be what? 0 and 1. Okay, there we go. So this is our SQL statement. Okay, so now I create the command, and next I'm gonna define command1.connection equals my connection, md1.transactions equal my transaction, and cmd1.sql or command text equals what? This is gonna be SQL. And now I'm gonna run this command. So here I'm gonna say cmd1.execute non-query, and this is gonna execute this command. Okay, and hopefully it will insert everything. But I made a big mistake. What are the values here for receipt date and receipt total? So this is how you should do it. cmd1.parameters.add yeah. So let me see, I need to provide the name. So this is the first parameter, which will goes to the date. I'm gonna say now, which is a function that will return the value. What's the problem with this one? Deprecated, use add with value. Okay, so I'm gonna use add with the value. There we go. and now cmd1 dot parameters dot add with value and 1, and I'm gonna need to specify the total. The receipt total is in text box 3 dot text, I guess text box 3 or text box 4. I think it's text box 4. Let me try this out and see. Wait, text box 4, yes it is. Okay, so this will later get executed. Okay, so now what I did, I just inserted the receipt information. What about the ID? Well, the ID should be generated by the database, so now I can retrieve that. So get the ID for the receipt. Okay, and for this I'm gonna use the same format. Okay, so where is that? I'm gonna say SQL equals select max receipt ID, okay, as RID, or let's say max ID from receipts. There we go. And now dimension cmd, okay, I think I could say cmd1 dot dispose because I finished that. Now cmd2 as new oladb command. Okay, I will repeat the same code. cmd2 dot connection equals my connection. cmd2 dot transaction equals the same my transaction. cmd2 dot what SQL command text equals SQL. Okay, and this one doesn't require any parameters. And now yeah, so here what do we have? cmd2 dot execute yeah, you could say execute scalar, and this will execute the command and return the value for you. So here dimension receipt ID as long equals execute scalar, followed after that cmd2 dot dispose. There we go. Okay, so we got this one, and now we are ready to insert the details. So insert the details of the receipt. So dimension I as integer for for I equals 0 to dgv2 dot rows dot count minus 1, and first get the values. Dimension barcode as string equals dgv2 dot rows of I dot cells of 0 dot value. Okay, and next dimension by price as decimal equal dgv2 dot rows of I dot cells of the column after that is the name, it's 1, and after that there is the by price. Okay, so dimension cell price as decimal equals dgv2 dot rows of I dot cells of 3 dot value, and I think the count later on. Item count as decimal, as integer equals dgv2 dot what dot rows of I dot cells of 4 dot value. So we got these values. Next, create a command. Okay, so dimension oh wait a minute, yeah, dimension cmd 3, okay, as new oladb dot oladb command. Okay, and dimension SQL, wait, I already have SQL defined, so I will use, now I will write the statement to insert values to the details table. This is the details table. Okay, so I need to see the information here. So here this is going to be like this. insert into receipt details. Yeah, and I will specify and underscore, oops, okay, I'll specify the columns receipt ID. This is the first one, barcode. After that, what do we have? We have item count, we have buy price, and what do we have? We have sell price and sell price. Okay, and underscore. Okay, so this is all a single string. We're gonna say values. Okay, and underscore. Okay, so first value, which is the receipt ID. Second value, I'm gonna make it like this. Okay, the second one is column 1. The next one is column 2, just to make sure I don't miss anything, and also it makes it a little bit more organized, a little bit for right. There we go. Okay, so we need to provide these 5 parameters. Okay, so now cmd3 dot connection equals my connection, cmd3 dot transactions equals my transaction, cmd3 dot what, we have command text, right, equals SQL. And now we need to add the parameters. So now cmd.parameters.add with value. Okay, so here what we need to add, the first one, 0, and from here you see that 0 is receipt ID, so this is gonna be receipt ID. There we go. cmd, oops, this is cmd3, sorry about that. Parameters add with value. Okay, and this is the second one. Instead of receipt ID we have barcode, and cmd3.parameters.add. To what do we have next? We have the item count, and cmd3.parameters.add. This is gonna be 3. After that, what do we have? We have the buy price, and cmd3.parameters.add 4. Now you might be asking, is this too much work? Why I don't use string concatenation? Well, if you do that, your application could have problems with data entry, or if the entry is not valid, or if a hacker comes in, they can make SQL injection attack. So don't do that. This is going to be sell price. There we go. So we added these, and the things that remains here is what we need to execute this command, right? So cmd3.execute and a query. There we go. So this one get executed, and after that we have cmd3.dispose. Okay, so this will destroy the object, and then a new one will get generated here again, and yeah. Okay, anyway, so after everything goes well, all well, save the changes. Okay, so here my transaction.commit, and now close connection. My transaction dot wait a minute, dispose, and then my connection dot close, my connection dot dispose. There we go. So everything get destroyed, no problem. If however any kind of error happens, so here if wait a minute, if my transaction is not nothing, then my transaction dot rollback. Okay, so after that MSG box ex.message critical, okay, only error. There we go. So this is the code, and you might think it's a little bit too much. Well, you have to do it this way to make sure that any error won't ruin the information that you have. Okay, so I'm gonna put a breakpoint just to make sure everything's gonna work fine. I'm gonna trace it step by step, okay, for the first run. After make sure everything works fine, I'm gonna we'll run that on full. So save this here, run the code. Okay, 1 2 3. Yes. Okay, so items, I'm gonna add item 2. It's gonna be pen 2 3 and add. So this is 1 1 1 2 2 2. So I'm gonna say save receipt. So now we are gonna start. So here we created a connection. I don't believe I opened the connection, right? What's the status here? I don't think yeah, status is closed. I forgot to open the connection. So here my connection dot open. There we go. I forgot that. Sorry. So open the connection, begin a transaction. And now this is our SQL statement. Okay, so this is, I set the connection transaction command text and the parameter, this is going to be the total. Execute that, and we have an error, data type mismatch and criteria expression. Okay, I am not sure. I think this one should be what? This one should be different. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna save the receipt again, but this one now is gonna be dot date. Yeah, because now we'll return to the date and time, or more exactly the timestamp. So okay, now this one works, as you can see. Now this one, yeah. Wait. Yeah, now it works. Yeah, yeah, because this one returns the timestamp, but the date will return the date for you. Okay, so we got this one first, and now I'm gonna get the max ID. Okay, so the ID for the receipt is 3. Okay, and now I'm gonna loop on every row. So I'm gonna get the barcode. This is the barcode for the, this is the buy price, the seller price is 1, the item count is 3, and now we're gonna create a new command here. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 parameters. I'm gonna set these. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5, and we have another error. Insert, wait a minute, insert into statement contains the following unknown field, buy price. Make sure you have, okay, so I have buy price misspelled. Let me see. Ouch. I think it's item buy price. Let me see. So item buy price and item seller price. Okay, I misspelled. My SQL is not correct. That's the problem. So that's okay. So actually it's good I got this error. Now if you remember, the value here was already inserted, right? So the value here was executed, and we should have the receipt number already inserted, right? But luckily we are not. Why? Because if we open this one here, you see that nothing was inserted, because the code went to here and a rollback was executed, so all the changes were cancelled. Okay, so now I'm gonna click this one again. Okay, so lots of mistakes, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so here this is gonna be item buy price, and this is gonna be item seller price. Yeah, this one doesn't have to be one under the other, but just, you know, just to make it more. And now it works. Okay, so and the other item will get inserted. Now we commit the transaction and we close everything. All is well. Let's go. Now if we go to our database, and now I'm gonna double click on the receipt. I can see my receipt is number 4. I can go to the details and I see the details here. So everything now works fine. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look here. There is one issue though. The information should be cleared from here. So let me go back here. Let me see. So what should happen next is dgb2.rows.clear and text box 4.text equals nothing. Okay, there we go. Also, I need to check another thing here. My connection is not nothing. Then oops. Okay. So here, my connection should be out of here as well. Okay. There we go. So my connection, if it is not nothing, then if my connection dot state equals open, then my connection dot close. There we go. And finally, just to get rid of the warnings, this is going to be equal to nothing at the beginning, equals to nothing. Okay, so now this one. Okay, so now this code works fine. All this insert operation works as a single unit. So let me save that here, and now run this again, and let's try to do many inserts. Okay, items, add barcode. This is going to be 2 here. Item name pan 2 for add items, add item. This is going to be what? This is going to be 6. Yeah, wait, make it 3. Let's make it the consecutive values. And I don't know, candy, and 6 and 7, or let's say 9. Okay, so let's try to fill few receipts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, we don't have this one. 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay, whatever that is. Anyway, so we have these. This is gonna be the first receipt. I saved that. Okay, the values are saved. I can go back to the database. Okay, double click that. You can see totals 42. The details are here. Let's add another receipt. Okay, 2. Save that. Another receipt 3, 1, and yeah, and save the receipt again. If we go here now, if I display, I have 3 receipts. So we have 42, 4, and 11, and there's the date of the receipt, and yeah, we have the details. So these records belong to the first receipt, number 2. This belongs to the second receipt, and this goes to the third receipt. Okay. Again, as you have seen in the code, if a problem happens in the middle of the execution, we go back here, and a rollback will cancel all the changes. Now, yeah, so I guess this is all that we need to work, yeah, this is all we need to work with for today. If we look at what we have just done, we added items to a receipt, we removed items from receipt, we found the receipt total, we submitted a receipt. Yeah, so basically we finished about 64% of our work. Next, we will work with displaying a report. We'll see how this one works. So I'm gonna save this now. Yeah, I hope you'll find this useful. I will post the code on the website. If you have questions or suggestions, send them to notes@mka-soft.com. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.